Right.
But refuse profane and old wives' fables.
Yes.
And exercise thyself rather unto godliness.
See that? Exercise. You know why I had to get you up here and do that? Because you were too exalted. You were too exalted, and I had to bring you down. They was going to tell me I had to throw it back. I'll pray for me, but he throw that on me. Didn't do thing. I was talking to him. I ain't said nothing. Dante was telling him about people I beat in basketball, name them all. I ain't said nothing. Just sitting down. He talking about, Pastor, God, he calm down. Why? He too exalted. So Dante said, how he exalted? He didn't say nothing. He said, I was the one told you. Yeah, but he was edgy. He too exalted. I used to be like that. I had to calm down. You gotta love him. You gotta love him. But I appreciate it. Isn't that right? And having exercise. What exercise is going to do for the body? Going to tone the body, condition the body. That's what we do every time you come and hear the word. You exercise the spiritual man so you can get it to its full capacity. Back on to 1 Corinthians chapter 12. What if you have 13, 14? Mm-hmm. Listen.
For by one Spirit
are we what?
Are we all baptized into one body,
mm-hmm.
whether we be Jews or Gentiles,
mm-hmm.
whether we be bond or free,
yes.
and have been all made to drink into one Spirit. For by the body is not one member.
For by the body?
For the body is not one member.
You scared me. This is what he said. For the body is not
one member.
But what?
But many.
But many.
If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand,
yes.
I am not of the body.
What happened?
Is it therefore not of the body?
He asked a question. I got to get ready to let y'all go. But I want y'all to contemplate it. The Lord bless her to go into it some more. Sabbath night, Lord willing, we will. But just something to consider and think about. Don't never think of yourself as insignificant when it comes to the church because you don't operate a camera or I don't do a system, I'm not an usher, I don't read, I'm not a minister. He talked about the body is not one member but many members. It takes every member that's in your body to make a body, a full body. And every one of them have a significance to it. Whether people might not think about it or not, they do. He talked about, as you later read, how to put the more honor, bestow the most honor upon the least member. See, the way we do things, we'll put praise and strength and glory to the part that people see the most. But he talked about putting honor on the least because that's how the body operates. He talked about, and we spoke about before, how while we were yet sinners, Christ died. For a righteous man, one would dare to die, pre-adventure for a good man. He said, but while we were yet sinners, Christ died. He put the most honor on the least part of the body. We were a church of disobedience, a church contrary, but yet he put more love and more honor upon us. And through that, it made us better. That's the kind of mind we have to have when we the church. We can't be a church where we have members and we isolate or don't fool with members. And we in the body, we got to learn how to work together and be a body. That's the church. When you don't perfect these, you can keep all your Sabbaths, all your new moon. That's why he told the people, he said, I hate them. Because they weren't obedient. It was no way if they were obedient, it was no way they could have been fellowship and loving one another. Whatever you're not doing for God, is no way in the world you could be doing it for somebody else. There's no way in the world. If you ain't loving God, you're not loving anybody else correctly. You don't even love yourself if you first love the Most High God. Mm-hmm. And when you love God and love yourself, you got to love your brother. We are a church. We are a body. We care for each and every member of the Way of God Church. And I would want you to be honest with me if you're a person saying, I can't love everybody in here. I would appreciate if you came to me and we had that private talk, and I would probably ask you to leave. Get it together. You think you got it together? Come back and see me. Maybe the Lord will. We got room for you. But you got to understand how the body operates. See, if we don't be careful, when you read that letter, he began to talk about that there'll be no schism in the body. If you don't watch it, you could do some little things you don't think nothing of. It can cause a schism. I was telling my wife about something. I said, we got to be oh so careful about everything you do. And even with little things you do and you try to be careful of, still a problem going to arise, situation come up. But you try to look ahead and think about your brother and sister, consider them so you can alleviate problems. That's what I do. People like, y'all know me, I have a meeting with y'all in a minute. If I see something, what I'm doing? Me. My wife's like, God, you always got a meeting. I said, you know what my job is? Prevention. That's right. Prevention. is worth a pound of cure, better than a pound of cure. When you can see something or perceive something, you want to cut it off so it don't even happen, because what? You considering the body. Everything each one of us in here should be doing, you should be considering your brother and sister. There are people you're going to gravitate to, you're going to have more in common with, you can talk with, you got an understanding with. No sin whatsoever. That's not a sin, not a problem. When it come down to loving one another, you can't love nobody more than you love each other. We're a body. They come down to choosing. You're supposed to choose a saint any day over some sin. I got people here, they can do better fellowshipping with folks in the world than they do people in church. Church people be in your business. I don't want church people sitting from their jaw, ain't got a look of Holy Ghost, born again atheists, all in your house and spend the night. Cook and bring you food, but get to church, go say, I ain't gonna eat for them folk. Everybody here ain't saved. Atheists cooked your food. Hair spent around, spit the green stuff, everything in it. And you know what you say? But they carry themselves clean. I ain't never figured that one out. If anything, I eat from the people of God if I can eat from the people on the street.
That's right.
But see, a thing we all have to be watchful and be mindful of, and we come up as a church. Y'all understand that? Does the message make sense to y'all tonight? Everything we do is about the church. A lot of things I have to do, I had to consider, I had to suffer and do because of the church. I had to stay here late. I had to get here early. Why? Because of the church. I had to jump on things, get on things. I had to be on my family tighter, harder. Why? Because of the church. We setting a standard. Whether she want to be a person, be looked at or not, make me no different. I said, because of the church. I can't have you in a position called nobody to fall. It's the church. I got to consider the church. And every decision you make, you ought to be considering one another. We're a body. Y'all all right?
Amen.
Appreciate y'all. That's good. I appreciate that.